Captain, you ready? Captain.
What the? I guess I'm the captain now. Proceed.
What is going on, everybody out there in podcast land?
Yo.
Hello, my darlings.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Happy Tuesday.
Welcome back, growers, smokers, lovers, haters, adults,
Hi,
children.
Chat. How are you guys doing tonight?
Hey, chat. I see, let's shout out some people. We got Badger's Bunk, The Smoke Ring, El Papa, Judas. We got Nicholas, Grinch. What up, everybody?
Yay.
Thank you for coming in and joining us live.
How you doing, crew?
Oh, dude, I hear that. Tired. Yeah, he says, tired. I'm tired too, man. You know, another week grinding it. This is a busy week for me at work, but as you know, I always say, this is just like a highlight of my week. Love getting together with you guys, talking grow.
Always a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Indeed. So what are we smoking on tonight? Well, first things first, I don't think G3 is even smoking yet. Is she?
No, I haven't. I do have this. It's ready to go. I'm just like,
that new
should I do it? Should I not do it?
Face.
Should I do it? Should I not do it? Should I do it? Like, I kind of want to, but then I really feel like I'm going to pay for it tomorrow. I'm not 100%. I'm still like, to be super gross, coughing up like bits of mucus and yeah, my throat and I are not happy, but I'm like so close. I'm like 90% of the way there. And my body feels fine and my lungs feel fine. I'm just kind of like
surviving on edibles.
Yep.
So, not an enviable situation, I must say.
But yeah, might break into that in a minute.
I don't blame you.
And then you guys can hear me bitch about it on the Discord tomorrow.
Hit that mute button. Hit that mute button. But you know, got to do what you got to do. But it's cool you were able to survive. You know, the sickness, the tea break, the sickness.
Yeah.
But now really it's surviving on edibles, which I think is a difficult.
It's sad. It's so sad.
It's just like, it's a tease. First of all, it's a tease. But it's just hard to gauge like proper dosages and all that stuff, you know? It's not your typical thing.
It takes longer to kick in. It lasts significantly longer. So like if I make an error in judgment, they hit you a little differently. So like if I make an error in judgment and I'm like, oh shit, I've gone beyond where I'm super comfortable and like I have stuff to do. I can't just like sit around and be zonked out for 8 hours. So I have to be careful. It's just not as reliable as straight up smoking. So slowly but surely I'll get back there.
Edibles can take you out of the game.
Yeah.
Man, they get right on top of me sometimes too. Like, ooh. A little crazy.
Grinch says it. He makes him very sleepy, and I have to agree. It tends to be like, you know, after the initial euphoria kind of wears off, like that might take an hour or so. I do get very sleepy from edibles. But
for me and my body chemistry, if I keep eating them, it's good. But eventually I crash. Like, it just happens, you know. I kind of get energy from them.
I wonder if, like, as with like alcohol, so can it affect you in a more intense way if you take edibles on an empty stomach? Like if you
I
haven't eaten?
actually think that you're supposed to have them on a
I think
full stomach with fatty foods.
I think she's right.
Yeah.
Well, in
So
fact,
that
I
like
know she's right that the fat
it
definitely helps you
binds to
absorb
the.
it better.
Gotcha,
Yeah,
gotcha.
it binds to it and helps it get into your
Makes
system
sense.
faster. Yeah, you're also supposed to, like, if they're gummies or whatever, you're supposed to allow them to dissolve in your mouth because then it
Oh
Sublingually.
goes
yeah.
through your mucous membranes directly into your bloodstream instead of having to go through your liver, and your liver will like knock out some of the potency of it. And some people are lacking the enzyme to properly have that be bioavailable to them. So
And that's
edibles
might be why
affect different people
some
different ways.
people say like edibles never fuck me up.
Yeah, it's
You always
absolutely a
hear that.
true thing. It's something like, I think studies have said it's something about like 15% of the population just lack the enzyme needed to make THC available gastrointestinally.
Interesting. Yo, Norma, where you been?
What up, motherfucker?
Yay.
How you doing?
How you
Welcome
doing?
back. Good to see ya. Tuning in from if I'm not mistaken, like Scotland or something, right? Ireland, Scotland. I know
Somewhere in the
he's gonna
UK.
hate me for mixing those two up. It's one or the other. But he's been on a holiday. He says on a
Yep,
holiday.
spilling
Oh,
weed all
Cool.
over
lovely.
Well, welcome
myself.
back, my friend.
Hope it was nice.
Monster, you rolling one up there? What'd you put in it?
George's root beer.
Excellent choice.
Good choice. Oh, I was wrong. Both accounts. He's English. Now he hates me even more.
Yep, triple hate.
But welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah, George's root beer. You know one's good when you just keep smoking it. You know what I mean?
I just like the unique terp profile of it, and it does have some nice effects, but really it's the terps I'm after with this one. It's just I keep smoking it thinking that I'm going to be able to nail it down exactly what it is, but I just can't. It's definitely unique, and I like it. Plus I'm a
Love
little
to hear
biased,
it.
I like BGG.
Yeah, me too.
It was a
Me too.
prick.
Well, he posted the artwork for George's root beer up in the Discord
Yes, he
today.
did. It's so
But
cute.
I don't want to post it. I want I want to let him do the honors.
Yeah.
We could show it on the next show. I'm sure you'll be smoking it on another occasion.
There was
for me to
also
bring it
something
up.
else. He posted the artwork there too.
He did. So
Yeah,
exciting.
the
I've known
official
about this one for a
G3
while.
strain.
Yep, Patreon exclusive. Yay.
I love it. It's like got White Widow in it too, which
Yep.
is. I know we were talking about that on another
Yeah, which is
show.
true. So cute. And the artwork is adorable. It's
Ah,
like
yeah,
great.
I can
It's
bring
so
that
amazing
up.
in every way.
I can bring that up real quick. It is amazing. Yeah, again, BGG, it just goes above and beyond. I don't really know why he does these things for us, but we
We
love
got a
him for
solid crew of
There we go.
motherfuckers
There we
on
go.
our side.
it. Look how cool that is.
It is fucking sick.
So cute.
So I have to imagine there's going to be stickers and stuff, but like, yeah, like this is going to be a Patreon exclusive strain. I believe, yeah, it's got to be an auto. I mean, I think it doesn't have to be.
No, it doesn't
With the
have to. I think it is.
with the frogception,
With
I believe.
Frogception.
Yeah. But cool. And yeah, looks I mean, the AI is getting your likeness down. I must say, G3. I
Yeah.
mean, a little bit
I could do this
without
one.
the glasses. Yeah, it's could pass.
She's super cute. I love it.
Cool.
So very honored. Like, oh my God, he sent me the artwork and I literally screamed out loud.
Well, there has been a monster weed that was just sent out, and now there shall be a witch's brew.
Too bad he hates you, Cap. Jeez.
We were I know, right? Well, we were talking about some. I think he has one in mind. Again, I don't want to. I don't want to like spill the beans because it's
No
cool
pun
stuff. But
intended.
Ha 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 ha.
right, spill the beans on the beans. But yeah, we had a couple things in mind. No, don't you worry. There will be a captain strain. I have a good feeling.
Captain Scurvy. Meat terps.
No, it'd have to be citrus terps.
Well,
Yeah,
it's lack of citrus
to,
if it's
to
scurvy.
prevent the scurvy. We're gonna prevent that scurvy.
Yeah, right. Well, that's. I mean, I don't know. It has to because you associate scurvy with somehow with citrus terps or CAPS
Lack
scurvy
of
cure
citrus.
or scurvy antidote or something along those lines. I don't know, but that's exactly what we were talking about. Great minds think alike.
Arr.
That's right.
Yeah, will be great.
But yeah, so cool. George's root beer, instant classic. Gotta love it.
What about you?
Cap, what do you got?
Can you guess? I'm in the same boat as you guys.
Scotty.
Absolutely. I found a favorite and I'm sticking with it until I have no more of it. That's kind of where I've been in the last, week or so. Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Oh, yeah. This one, just the taste instantly. And the warm blanket effect. It just, this stuff, you know me and my fresh grind rule, right? I only smoke freshly ground weed. I don't this exception to the rule. This is from last week. This is the stuff I had up in the room, my podcast room, since
Never have
last
I heard
week.
of you doing that.
I know, and it's
Like
still.
I have scolded you multiple times for throwing away weed that was ground up from last week.
Oh yeah, I got an ashtray full of green stuff from previous shows, just throwing stuff out. Now this stuff retains all of its smell, all of its flavor, like everything. I don't know. It's just something about it. It's cool.
I don't like smoking stale weed either. Like especially like right now, I just rolled up this joint, right? And there's like a little bit left over. Like, what am I gonna do with that? Well, if I could smoke that, just fucking.
And call me a snob. I don't care, but I have I'm like I said, Rockefeller weed rich over here. I can just throw money in the fucking fireplace and burn it for warmth. Just that's what I'm doing. I just only
Rockefeller
smoke.
weed rich.
I only smoke freshly ground weed, but not in this case because I don't have that much of this one left, to be real. I'm flying through it, so
You're gonna cry when it's gone.
waste not, want not.
He's not
Yeah.
because he kept the cologne.
That's right. Which I will be taking snips of soon, making new clones from
There
the
you
clone.
go. There you go.
Disposing of all the rest. So,
Just run a whole tent of rum, Scotty.
well, at some point, perhaps, but that's the great.
You can keep that mom alive forever, dude. Once it gets
Yeah.
too big, take some snips, make sure they root, snuff that bitch,
Exactly.
keep it going.
I've had the one that I have now. I mean, shoot, when did I harvest? It was like 2 months ago. But I took the clones before I flipped to flower. So you have to add at least another. Let's add another 2 months onto that. So that's at least 4 months now. I've had this one mother in a 1 gallon pot. She's fine, Let's just keep.
Have
the
you noticed
cycle
that
going.
her growth rate is significantly
Oh yeah.
slower
Oh yeah.
than like if you're growing full speed ahead?
Oh yeah, almost no growth at this point. Like very little, if any, and might not be helping matters that it's 60 degrees up in the attic right now, and I haven't gotten the the winter. I haven't like prepped it for winter yet. You know, got to do that. But they're just fucking clones. Like they don't need that the kind of love and attention that I would give like a normal garden, right?
Just clones. Just the mother
Yeah,
of my favorite plant I've ever come across ever.
no.
And if I lose her forever, then I'm screwed. Just that.
You'd really have to fuck them things up to lose it forever.
That's what I'm saying. Like I go and check on them every 2-3 days just to give them some nutrient water, and they're just fine, chilling in the cold attic under a little light in a little tent with no love.
Aren't they just miraculous plants?
They are. I haven't like paid them any attention. It's kind of sad. You're right. But coming soon. We got a lot going on, you know. There's like I want the grow along coming. Shoot, have you guys picked which strains you're growing yet?
Oh man, it's so
Jesus
hard. Oh God. The one I know for sure is that peanut butter and jelly. That is like
Yep.
yes.
Yep.
1,000%. Yeah.
It's like
And then I can't decide between cherry slimeade and cherry banana bomb. Or whatever that one's called.
You got to go with one of those two.
Yep.
Well, tell me which one you choose so I can like pick the opposite.
You get the other and we'll just trade.
Yeah. 'Cause I'm going for fruity terps this time around.
Yes,
you know, like,
that's what I like. I mean, God, you know me. Fruity terps are nothing.
yeah. So I think we can collab on like sharing a little of our stash with each other.
We'll go halvesies.
Yeah, we'll have just more variety, the better. So if you go to like anyone out there listening, well, shoot, by the time if you're listening live and you want to get a sneak preview on like all the artwork for the strains and like see them all listed out, go to jcuniversal.link. He has them all posted now in the store. And I think I'm definitely doing one of each.
I know I'm going
like
Gonzo
line.
Grape. I'm not fucking around.
Yeah, right. That's the one. Gonzo Grape F2.
Yeah. That one,
I don't think you could
the
go
grape
wrong there.
crossed with blueberry looked really good.
Yeah, the Gangsta Grape.
Gangsta Grape,
might
yes.
be my choice from that line.
Oh. God damn it, I want all of them.
But, he was saying the Hubba Bubba Grape was... But again, like, I'm thinking fruity terps. And when I think fruity terps, I think, like, blueberry crossed with the grape. It sounds amazing. And then, from the other one, it was...
The cherry. Ooh, the cherry.
Yeah, the cherry slimeade.
Mm-hmm.
But that black bourbon keeps me coming back to it with that BB and OJ, I don't know, man. He just made it so fucking hard. That's like,
Right, something for everybody.
It's a good thing.
Is it though? It's not good for my bank account.
No, it's not. But,
I will say, woof, that's when you know the shit you're smoking's good. When you get a tap out on the joint. That's me right now. Tapping out right now.
I don't know if I've ever seen you do that. That's...
Oof.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, I'll light that shit up again in a few minutes, but I had to gotta take a break.
Breath.
I mean, my opinion of you shattered. Like here I thought you were this big, like, this big monster smoking all sorts of weed, just unaffected,
I get affected.
I'm playing. We all get affected, dude. Ain't no shame in tapping out. Unless it's in public and it's like a rotation at a party or something. Then it's like, I don't know. You gotta stay committed till the end in that situation.
When you start choking your brains out, it's time to put the joint down. Right? Good thing I hit the cough button here.
Oh shit!
But, yeah, it was good. Yeah. Feeling good.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Well, now that we're all feeling good, nice and loose. Actually, I'm gonna sneak one last fucking rip in here before.
One for the road.
Yeah, just sneak that in.
Oh my god, that's Me and my wife joke with each other constantly. It's like leaving the house, it's like a process. Gotta take like 3 quick bong rips before we leave and go to grocery shopping.
You know
Mm-hmm.
what's funny,
3 quick
dude?
bong to put everything.
You know what's funny? When I do that, like take a couple rips for it, I always feel like, man, like I'm just not that fucking high. Like it didn't do what I wanted it to do. And then you get there and you get out of the car, you're like,
Oh
yeah, I'm
yeah.
high. Yeah,
Oh
I'm
yeah,
high.
it's usually when I'm like walking through the grocery store and it's that like artificial lighting and everything is like way too organized on either side of you and you get that like I don't know, it's a surrealist painting kind of effect. You're like this is not right.
Mm.
It almost makes you feel like you're tripping a little bit. And you know what happened? They got these fucking things now these robots at the grocery store. Do you guys have these where you're
The
at?
cleaning robots, the ones that spot
Yeah.
the
Oh my.
yeah,
They have
The
like
one in my
googly
store is
eyes
called
on them.
Marty.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, they
yeah,
give them names and googly
yeah.
eyes. And they're like constantly like trying like
They're
they're
supposed
like
to spot messes and
oh
like
my god,
flag
I
them.
hate them.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I deem it highly unnecessary. Like what the like? Are you fucking kidding me? Like the thing just yeah. Like fuck those things.
They used to have like a couple high schoolers on staff for that kind of thing. Now they got this
Yeah,
annoying ass robot that's like, I feel awkward because I'm like, oh, excuse me, like, pardon me,
yeah.
I'm gonna go this way, and then it like, it like, mimics my movement, it stutter steps, and fucking makes me spill my basket of produce all over the floor.
Yeah,
Embarrassing for both of us.
I like to cuss those things. You know what I mean? Call them a fucking loser. Just talk shit to them. See what they do. Try
I'm
to
sure
get in
his
their way.
feelings
Like
are
you see
very
it
hurt.
coming. You see it coming, and then you like step because they're like super over engineered to the point where like they won't run into you, right? Because their whole design and purpose is to like prevent lawsuits, right, from like people slips and falls. So they're totally over engineered where like that thing's not gonna run you over. You know what I mean? I like to fuck with them and get in their way, and yeah, not all the time, just once in a while.
That's so funny.
Fuck those things.
Oh, you'll
I need a
you'll get
fucking
them.
robot in a grocery store.
You'll get them. If you guys don't have them where you live, you'll get them. They're taking your gerbs. Future robots.
Yeah, the damn robots.
Well, so we had some interesting discussions in the Discord this week, as we always do,
Mm-hmm.
which kind of, brought up some show topic thoughts. It's just I just take what I'm getting all week and I repackage it here in a different format. It's great how this cycle of information works. But like just today, we were talking about overwatering plants. And how do you know when it's overwatered as opposed to underwatered? Like what, it is, again, watering mistakes are one of the most common, if not the single most common issue that I see across the board from growers of all levels.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that like we keep kind of learning about. Like every plant's a little bit different, and you kind of have to like adjust and tweak your approach as you go. What do you guys do? Like let's assume we strip away all of our automatic watering setups. We're noobs again, like sucking on the teat, weaning our way from the teat. We're just like struggling, taking off the training wheels. We're just learning how to walk here. We got a basic setup, maybe 5 gallon tub of soil. Maybe they're in fabric pots. Maybe they're just in a bucket. I guess both cases would be way different. What what's your approach? How do you go about watering? How do you please take over? I'm struggling to talk here.
I mean, shit, man. I don't know. I mean, like, first of all, let's let's help people identify overwatering versus underwatering. And um, look, Joint posted a great description, and it's 100% accurate. When you look at a plant and you see that it's droopy, right? If it's overwatered, the leaves themselves are just going to be droopy. If you underwater it, the whole plant is going to be droopy, and uh, that's a clear sign. Just look at the stems. If the stems are falling with the leaves, then it needs more water. And if you're not sure, and if you're looking at the plant and it looks okay, and you're not sure, fucking wait a day. Um, they don't just don't go crazy. And once plants get bigger, it's pretty hard to like really like overwater unless you got some really like heavy soil. It's usually in the beginning, and especially with autos, and that's when you'll stunt those things. Um,
Oh yeah. If you overwater in the beginning, you're kind of fucked. Not gonna lie, especially with an auto.
if you're seeing leaf curling, that's like nitrogen, way too much nitrogen generally.
Different things, but in like watering issues can lead to nutrient issues.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's kind of one of the confusing parts of it, you know? It's like maybe not every plant responds with like the traditional like droopy leaves, but you know, erect stems.
yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
you're going to
Because
see
because they may have fucked up the watering so bad that there's a pH imbalance in the soil, or you have some lockout going on.
yeah.
Um, right, G3?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, watering issues can manifest as like what looks like nutrient lockout. Like if you're constantly overwatering and then underwatering and like this cycle of imbalance kind of persists, like what your plants actually want is consistency, you know? Like if you could keep them at like a 50% moisture level at all times, they would love that. You know what I mean? But with them drinking and like absorbing that water and you adding more, like it's never going to be quite in that range at all. But like the closer you can keep it to that level, the better off you are. That's how I kind of look at it. I never want my pots to get too heavy, and I also don't want them to get too light. And when I'm hand watering, it is for me at least all about like how they feel. I'm very
Pick that
tactile.
shit
I
up.
pick it up. Yes.
Yep.
I'm like, I pick it up every time. I say hello. I reach over. I pick up the pot. Oh, hello. How are you? Let me give you a little pick up. Pick up.
Mhm.
It's a little like
They
pick up. Say
drastically
hello.
different when they're wet versus when they're
Mm-hmm.
dry. You can definitely tell. And the knuckle test is pretty good too. I like stick a finger like a knuckle deep or so, and I see if I can feel, depending on how dry it is. If there's like a tiny bit of moisture there, I know about how much moisture is there through the rest of the plant. If it's bone dry, then I'm considering, oh, maybe we should water.
Yeah, you should be able to feel, like, and if you're bottom watering, and because a lot of people will do that, in lieu of having like auto pots or whatever. I know a lot of people hand water and they'll bottom water. Just try to think about how much water that plant is really going to drink until the next time you can get there and water it. And you can't go too much either. Be like, oh, I'm going to take off for a week and fucking just pour in a shitload of water. You can't do that either. Um, I, Overwatering is a big problem, and but I also see underwatering too, which can
Mm-hmm.
cause the same fucking issues. Basically, your plant will get all fucked up because there's too much salt in the medium, and yes, this can even happen in organics. The EC gets way too high because there's not enough water to flush out all the bullshit. Don't Don't underwater. Excuse me. Don't underwater either. That's a big problem. And if you're having issues and your plant looks fucked up, right? Before you go pushing more newts in there, I recommend you flush the thing. I don't care how you're growing, whether you're bottom feeding or not. I've done it before myself. You got a run going and you got a plant that's just not looking quite right, right, and the rest of them look fine. Well, something happened there. There's a little bit of lockout or excess salt buildup. I flushed the thing right from the top. We tell you never to water from the top. Watering and flushing are two different things. If you're gonna
Yeah.
flush a plant from the top, you flush that thing.
Yeah.
Lots of water, lots
Gallons
of
and
Lots
runoff.
of water.
gallons and gallons of
I don't
water
think
through it.
you don't have to go crazy like that, but
I
definitely a good
That's
amount of
what I
water.
do when I flush.
Release the
If
floods.
I'm especially if I'm feeding salts, which I don't anymore. But
How
when
can
I was
you?
feeding salts and I had to flush, I would push gallons of water to
And
flush all of the salts out of the soil.
when I'm talking flush, I don't want people to get twisted. I ain't talking about end of fucking run
Yeah,
flush,
yeah.
which
We're
is
talking.
kind of bullshit in my
That's a
opinion.
myth. Yeah.
But
Mhm.
I'm talking about if you're having an issue and your plant's not looking healthy before before you fucking shove newts down its throat and overfeed it and exacerbate the problem even more, give it a good flush. I don't,
Yeah.
then start from there. Now, if you're growing in soil, I'm not a soil grower, but I know this much: you don't want to go crazy with that flush because you can do some harm that way
I
too,
was
especially
just
if
gonna
there's a
say,
lot of nutrition in that soil.
as a
Well, you can put
soil
it back
guy,
in afterwards.
you
No, no,
can.
no, but you can release a lot of nutrients basically into the medium
Mm.
with a heavy flush sometimes. Not always. It depends on your soil, but I've seen some instances where people can fuck up their shit because you thought you've adequately flushed it, but in reality, because your soil is so nutritious, for lack of a better adjective, that yeah, it can cause
It's
some
part of
issues.
a balanced breakfast
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
for your plants.
All right, so true or false? Overwatering is more about how often you water and not about how much you water.
False.
Correct.
No, I'd say
Wait,
that's false because you can do it either way.
it's more.
I've
Wait,
seen.
what did you say? More about how much you water and not how often?
Yeah, I always
Uh,
learned that overwatering was more based on time,
yeah, I would
how
say
quickly
it's
your
false.
waterings were
Yes.
together versus how much volume were you were putting through it. Like you can
Yeah.
these
Basically, what you're
pots can handle runoff. So I always learned that it was more about time. You can't have your waterings too close together and you can't have your waterings too far apart. But you can water to runoff every time if you want to.
I think the crux of what you're saying is if I'm picking up what you're putting down is basically can't really overwater a plant too much in one sitting. It's
In
more
one
of like
event. Yeah.
it's more of like a repeated thing. And yeah, I'd say that that's largely true.
You
But
got to
you
be a
can also
chronic overwaterer.
you can fuck up a plant pretty bad with an overwater in the beginning, especially with autos. They're so easy to fucking stunt, man. Couple of wrong moves in the beginning, and you're gonna have 1.5, 2 foot plants that should have been monsters. Um,
Right, because they're lacking the oxygen at that
You
point. You're
like,
literally like kind of sort of a little bit
yeah,
drowning
you're
them in their
drowning
own
them a little bit.
soil
yeah, and
because
in
they're not big
soil,
enough to cause a dryback.
if you've got a really heavy, rich living soil that's like a water only thing all the time, a lot of times that soil can be lacking a
Yep.
little bit of oxygen. So you want to make
Yep.
sure you get some aeration in that
We
soil, especially
see
with
that
autos.
for sure. You guys are spot on. I see that most of the time with like new growers who are growing. I feel like, for a home grower, a lot of cases they'll pick up a bag of like Fox Farm, Ocean Forest, or something. It's something easy you can get at the store. It's a compost rich, like heavy soil. A lot of times they don't even like add extra aeration to it. They put it in there and they keep it super moist that the whole time. And they might even like pack that shit down in the pot. I know we've talked about that a lot too. That's that can compact literally all of these issues.
Yep. He's repeating here. Aeration is key. I think a
For
lot of
sure.
people That's their biggest problem with autos. Because it seems to me that more than not, the people that are stunting their autos are doing it organically, and it's not because you're feeding the plant wrong necessarily. I don't think your soil is
Yeah,
aerated
I think
enough,
it's
and it
aeration, and I think it's overwatering.
and it may be a little too rich for an auto in the beginning. I've found personally, right, because I have the ability to be fucking god with synthetic nutrients, I can spoon feed a plant what it needs, right? So I know that autos don't like a lot of nitrogen. I've moved away from using grow newts completely with autos. It's
Mm-hmm.
just bloom and core, and that's it. And they get that from day one, right? Just
So
a very, very light dose. And there's more than enough nitrogen in your bloom mix. I don't care what you're using. There's more than enough nitrogen in there to give the plant what it needs for nitrogen. Overfeeding nitrogen, I think, is like it's huge, man. I think a lot of people are pushing their plants with too much nitrogen, especially autos. They just don't like it. They don't like a lot of nitrogen.
amen. It should be gospel, really. Like I think that we call that the born to bloom theory, right? Like it was like just start them on bloom newts. And you might be surprised. I mean, we know that root growth is associated with phosphorus and potassium and all that stuff. Like nitrogen is kind of an overrated nutrient. I think we fixate a lot of times on that. Like,
Well,
yeah,
it's because
sure,
it's the
we
first
need it,
it's the first thing in NPK, right? And it is important. Don't get it twisted, but it's not.
it is.
It's overutilized.
But it's like that. It's for vegetative growth, and that's not what we want. Like that's not what you know. Autos are not geared for massive amounts of vegetative growth. They're actually gonna. I mean, more of their mass is going to be buds and flowers than it ever will be leaves and stems. I mean, autos are just like that. Fat, fat buds. You know. I mean, I've
It
grown
can be
some
a little
hefty
leafy at
autos too.
times.
They can
It
get
can be a
leafy,
little.
but
Yeah.
you need nitrogen. I'm just saying. Like, I think you're spot on. We can kind of
I want to see people
move
stop
past it.
stunting their autos. I really do.
Oh, me
I
too.
mean, it's
I want
a
to see pigs fly too.
it's an epidemic. We need to stop it. I wish I had a vaccine.
Well, aeration is super easy. Just add some cocoa and perlite
We're trying. We're
to your
trying over
soil, and
here.
then it won't be so dense. And that's one issue. Like if they have to struggle to get through that soil, and if that soil is never going to dry out, your autos aren't going to be happy ever.
Truth. Now, so I know there are people out there who always want to put a number on it. They're always asking like, you know, how much water? How much
I
water?
can't tell you that.
Right? It is such a persistent question, and it's like, listen, it's all relative. If like I'm going to bring this up right now, and you have to like think about your own situations. So, even though this is from Build a Soil, I think this does also apply to people who are growing in cocoa, stuff like. Actually, probably not. Actually, if you're growing in cocoa, completely disregard what I'm about to show you. But if you're growing in soil, I just got to get this out of. Oh, thank you. All right, late on the click. All right, this will show a number for you. All right, so like this is 80% of the issues, right? The actual number is 5 to 10% of your soil volume is what you want to water at any one time. Let me repeat that. 5 to 10% of your soil volume. So, like, what size container are you growing in? For me, it's a 5-gallon pot, 99% of the time. So, any one any one watering, we're talking about shit. Now you're talking me. Now I have to do math and
A
like
quarter to a
conversions in
half
my head.
gallon,
Okay, yeah, help me,
right?
guys. Let's do the math together. Yeah, I think it's
It's a
It's
quarter to a half a gallon.
I'm not
yeah.
gonna lie. You lost me with this. It's just like I don't think that it has to be this fucking hard. It's
Well,
um
I don't either, but like there are people like I think for some types of people, some types of learners, this will be helpful. You know, if you're the type of person who needs a number, like this will give you a number.
I
Just do the
yeah, but
math.
I think that like stoner math and shit can fuck people up. I don't know. I would never advise a number for people personally. I mean, maybe I guess right. Everybody's different, so I don't know. I'm sorry. I guess I'm being a fucking.
No, I mean
No, I mean,
I
different
hear you.
plants uptake at different
I,
levels. Like some plants are really thirsty and they drink a ton, and other plants not so much.
This isn't my
So if you
preferred.
notice,
Yeah, like
I,
yeah, if
I
you notice you're not drinking, then like you got to dial back your water a little bit. If you notice she is drinking a lot, then you got to turn it up a little bit. But
the
I'd say pick up the pot, get a weight, a feel for it, right, and just look at the top of the soil, right, and look how dry it is. Kind of like G3 said, stick your fucking fingers right in there. You know what I mean?
go
Ain't
feel
get
gonna,
them
them
up.
dirty.
not gonna bite.
Get them
You know?
dirty.
Yeah.
But then yeah, make sure you got like cut your nails beforehand, like clean them out if you get that soil under
Yeah.
there. You know.
And
But
yeah.
so this is, I think, like the reason we started to talk about this is because there was some debate over whether or not like I think we were talking about like the frequency issue, like whether or not like it's too much at any one time. Like that is usually the issue, where we just keep on overwatering them and like give them too much repeatedly. It's better to give your plant like small doses of water more frequently than it would be to give them a large dose of water less frequently. And that kind of
Yeah.
ties back into my theory of like, in a perfect world, we would all just want to keep our soil moisture at like 50%. So it might take a little more elbow grease, but like I'll be up there every day giving them, maybe a quarter of, maybe like 3% of my soil volume. So, my God, we're asking you to do more conversions and math in your head. But it's like, yeah, maybe I'll give them like 250 milliliters at a time. Truly, truly. Maybe it's only like half a liter, any one watering. It's really not that much. But if you do that more frequently, I think that'll be more beneficial to newer growers who are struggling with watering and doing like just too much too frequently. Do less but more frequently. I know, because we all want to do more as new growers. That's
Well,
half the issue.
especially in the beginning, right? They feel like they have to water it every day,
Yeah,
and in some cases that's just not necessary.
it's not.
yeah, as much as we'd love to like give a formula of exactly how to do it, a lot of this is just something you learn by doing it over and over and over again. And it
I
becomes second nature to you. It's
yeah.
really just about experience.
Pick it up. Look at the pot. I mean,
Just
you
pick
can
it up.
feel it, right? Like if it feels like like when you pick it up, it feels like a feather, like because when cocoa or soil, whatever,
Oh,
when
it'll be
it's
light.
dry, it's fucking light. There isn't much to
Pick
it.
it up with one hand, really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and
And it might even, if it's a big enough plant, it might even be like top heavy too. Like, cause
yeah, I've seen pots fall over from
yeah.
lack of water, dude. I rock shit in solo cups all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like, dude, you don't water those fucking things, it just fall right
Yeah.
over. One thing I was saying, we were talking about nitrogen earlier. Badger was saying, he goes, "Well, my plants get plenty of N. That's part of why they aren't stunted." Yeah, yeah. I mean, look, everybody has. I'm not telling you if you give your plants nitrogen, you're going to stunt them. I'm just saying there's people that are giving their plants
Yeah.
too much
I feel
nitrogen.
like it can be over applied.
There you go. That's the term I'm looking for. Definitely over applied.
But we definitely need nitrogen in
Absolutely.
our mediums and in our nutrient mixes. But yeah, with autos, just use sparingly. That's kind of all we're saying.
Yeah.
Now, G3, you had
Yes,
an
sir.
interesting Discord.
I did. I had a great question in the Discord, and I really wanted to bring it up because I thought it was very smart. So, there was a question asking at the end of flower, how do you tell the difference between general fade, senescence, and nutrient deficiency? So if your plant is like yellow at the end of flower, is that fade or is she deficient in something? And how do you tell? I
I
thought it
don't
was an
think you
amazing
can. I
question.
don't think you can generalize it with a color. I think it would have to be more of like a case by case basis, right?
Well, yes, but for
Um,
example, if you have a super yellow plant, like
yeah,
I personally have been through this. I had a plant that I was like, oh my gosh, she's fading so beautifully. And she was like yellow. She wasn't fading, she was in nutrient lockout.
hmm
And
So
I can
you're
look back at it now and be like, I can see she was completely locked out. But at the time, I was like, oh, it's beautiful. It's following my
you,
scent.
you like convince yourself that like no, no, no,
Yeah.
it's just fading. There's nothing wrong with my plant. It's a natural process. I assure you. Let me take some photos. Like
Yeah,
it's only you
like you
know.
can look back on my Instagram and you can definitely tell which one it
Oh
is.
yeah. No,
I even
listen.
said in the description, like, you'd think that she's deficient in something, but she's not. It's just fade. I was
yeah.
like so
Oh,
delusional,
we
like
were
absolutely in Delulu
And,
land.
and at that point, it's too late. Like you can't really do much about it, And
Right.
what do we call it? Like delusions of
Of grandeur.
senescence.
Delusions of senescence. Yes.
oh, that's a great. That could be a show title.
I think it might
Uh,
have to be. You
Delusions
know,
of
we
senescence.
like
That's great.
we absolutely like happened to me, convinced myself over and over again that like, oh, my autos that are fading at day 48, nothing to be concerned about whatsoever. They will turn yellow at the end of their life cycle. It's they're fucking halfway through. You know what I mean? Like they
yeah,
still
it's
got
way
another
too early.
6 weeks to go.
So that's definitely a factor in it. Your senescence happens in the last like week to two, maybe, of when your plant is alive. Like it is definitely fall. It's autumn. It is at the very
Mm-hmm.
end of their life. Senescence is essentially cell death. So your plant is fading into these beautiful autumn colors because its cells are dying, not because it's stripping nutrients from the leaves because it doesn't have any, which is what a deficiency does.
Yeah.
So,
Or a lot of times, what I see too is overfeeding slash overwatering, where the leaves are all like burnt and crispy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's not a fade either. That's happened to just about everybody as well. You've overfed the thing. A little tip burn is one thing, but like if the whole tip of the leaf has burnt off, um, that's not fade either. That's usually you've gone a little heavy there.
Mm-hmm.
Heavy
Now,
feeder, heavy watering.
so how do we know, guys? Like really, what do we look for? Like what are the telltale signs that like your plant is not going through its natural fading process, and or really it's always going to naturally fade. You're just like speeding up the timeline of that happening by starving it during its life.
well, I think definitely in the color spectrum, if your plant looks jaundiced, that is not autumn, right? That's sick. That
Yeah,
is an
like
ill plant.
a little more
Um,
yellow than green, and just kind of overall too. Like it's not, just it's more of
yeah,
a
usually when you get a deficiency, it's not a spectrum of colors. It's one color. You're looking at like yellow or brown. You're not looking at purples and reds and oranges and yellows that kind of flow through each other into the green. And placement, I think, of the color is super important too. If you're deficient in, say, nitrogen or something, that's going to be at the bottom of your plant, generally in the
mhm,
older, lower leaves. Whereas senescence, you see it more in where the leaves are getting hit by the light the most.
absolutely. We're going to see the senescence occur from the top, and the most of the nutrient deficiencies occur from the bottom. I mean,
Yeah, I think like maybe zinc or something is one at the top, but you see that
it's
so rarely.
the immobile nutrients, which yeah, zinc, but like calcium is really the one that like the immobile nutrient you're going to see. And that's not, you can't mistake a calcium deficiency for a natural, beautiful fade.
No,
You're like, oh, my plant just has like a couple, like, they're just liver spots. Don't
Oh,
it's
worry.
resting.
It's,
I
those
make
rust spots all over the fucking plant. Yeah.
it's just, it just was out in the sun too long. Just has a couple of extra freckles, you know? No, there's no mistaking that. Like, it's not very beautiful. It looks ugly, you know. We have all seen that, and it doesn't look pleasant or pleasing. It doesn't look like your plant's having a very good time.
yeah,
Good
they
way to put it.
definitely can look more sick when they're deficient, and they look more natural. It looks more natural when they're fading
Yeah.
naturally because that's what they're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to
Yeah. And
do. I
you'll
also
tend to
find
see
that
more
like
colors as well with a fade. Like you're going to see like colors fading into
Yeah,
each other, you know?
purples and reds and like yeah, a lot of. And what you'll notice too is that the leaves still look healthy.
Yeah.
yes, I find that texture has a lot to
Yeah.
do with it. If you have a sick leaf where the plant's been pulling nutrients from that leaf in order to not die, that leaf kind of becomes like thin and wilty and kind of just sad looking. And it can be twisted on the edges in some ways, curled. Whereas if
Mm-hmm.
you have a senesced leaf, one that's fading naturally, the leaf itself is still really healthy and thick and almost coarse.
Yeah.
Like it also it reminds me of like alligator skin a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah, yeah.
When they start senescing, they get like rougher to the touch.
If you touch it like against the grain, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? It has that like it feels like yeah, like you're right, like fish scales almost.
Yeah. So it
Yeah.
has like a texture to
Mm-hmm.
it where it almost feels thicker, rougher. And it's still very, it's like not, if it curls, which some leaves do curl as they senesce, it's more symmetrical across the entire leaf. It's not like one leaf twisting in a certain way or curling in a certain way. It's like all of them kind of go together.
I will see that sometimes like you said the whole leaf just kind of looks more flaccid for a lack of a better word, like it loses some of its structure,
Hmm.
but not to
But
the
it's
point.
all the
Yeah.
fingers at the same time. It's not like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And like not to they tend to pray less during the senescence. Like they and like yeah, you might see more of like a curl to them, but like they still appear healthy.
Healthy. Hmm.
That's the crux of it, you know. You're not going to look like there's not going to be blemishes, blotches, liver spots, yeah, freckles. It's not you can't mistake it, you know. You'll know a healthy leaf when you see it. Don't kid yourself. Don't have delusions of senescence. Like no, this is fine. This is fine. No, add nutrition too. Like you always have that option. Unless it's truly the end of the grow, then like shit, you just better have learned your lesson for next time, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Give it one
Eh,
more top dressing
Yeah.
later into flower. Give it one more good feeding, you know? If you're like me, the
Yeah. I
organic
mean,
guy.
shit. Don't don't fucking stunt on rela- of those feedings at the end, right? We were talking about this the other day. I forget who popped it up, but I was saying, yeah, should have should have given a little bit more fruit at the end because they look hungry. You can see it.
I've
Like
definitely run into that. Yeah. Where you think it's going to come down at a certain time, but it's not quite ready yet.
mm,
But you didn't want to feed it before because you're like, well, I'm going to be chopping super soon. And then
Mm-hmm.
it went longer than you expected it to. And now you're like, oh, okay, I'm starving my plant now. Like, feed the damn thing.
100%. Now, there this time, right, like this my past grow of all these photo periods, these Romscottis and black lungs, I didn't get hardly any fade. I usually get quite a lot, because I'm guilty of it myself. Like I'm a little bit lazy towards the end of grows, and I starve my plants just a little bit too much. And it's pretty sometimes, it's like it's beautiful. I love the colors, but like let's be real. If I'd have given them more nutrition, I'd probably have yielded more. Healthier plants means more yield, you know. If you're fading too soon, you're not like maximizing the potential of the plants. There, but like, did I go too far? Is my question. Like, do you always want to see some fade, or does that not matter? Like,
I think
is
it
it just
matters
a
a little bit in the end product, in the final result, right?
do you?
Especially if, yeah, and I could be completely bullshit, but this is just how I think of it, right? Um, the end goal at the end of the day when you chop that plant down is to get as much chlorophyll out of it as you can. Um, if you can do a little bit at the end, you know, why not?
Chlorophyll? More like borophyll.
Cat's been waiting to use that one. He's like, dude, I
know
saw
it.
the look on his face as soon as I
Like, oh
said it.
shit.
There was like a fucking light bulb that went off. He's like, oh, wait a minute, I got this drop ready. All
I
right.
have that. Oh, forgot I even
So
had
who
that thing.
knows? Could be bro science, right? But I don't know. Um, and look, the last week or two of the plant's life, it's not going to use a whole lot of nutrition anyway. When you see that fade or that early senescence that shouldn't be there, that's from something that happened a couple of weeks back where you fucked up. That shit doesn't. It's not like it happened. Oh, like, oh, I'm a day too late here. It's that's usually not it. That's at least a week or not of or a week or more of um, deficiency before you really start to see the issue, right?
Agreed.
And
Because
there's some strains that just don't like fading very much. Like I've had some plants that just don't want to fade at the end. Trichomes are ready to go. They're still green as anything.
yep,
So it's
yep.
not like a necessity, but like I have to agree. I think with Monster that like
It's
ideally I'd like
preferable.
to get some of the chlorophyll out of it. I feel like that just produces like a better tasting, kind of cleaner product in the end.
Plus, like, look, I mean, we love this shit, right? We love growing the plant. It's awesome to see that fade at the end,
Yeah,
especially,
it's it's like the payoff sometimes, like that
yeah.
that beautiful. I mean,
Hmm.
talk about fall colors. I mean, this time of year around here, I was driving around today, just like having a hard time keeping my eyes on the road. Put it that way. It's like, oh my god, that maple tree has a striking shade of neon. Oh my god, the fucking 18 wheeler. like, but
Death by senescence.
that could be a show title now. You know, G, we are senescing right now. G3, all of us, even everyone listening.
Yep.
Isn't life just a process of slowly senescing?
Yep, I guess if you look at it that way.
I mean, can only hope. Like these plants, there's just this brief window of amazing beauty. Uh, the further you get in your life, that's not how it works for us. It's just not. What can you do?
Yeah,
We're
those
all just
purple strains though.
we're all just
Mm.
wilting, twisted, malnourished leaves in the end.
How uplifting. Everybody feels
Seriously.
real good about themselves now.
Guys, no, I'm It's a joke. It's a joke. Come on. I'm supposed to laugh. Well, no. Yeah, I don't know. Now you made me lose my train of thought. Shit.
Choo choo.
I know I had someone's garden I wanted to break into, but now I'm like I can't find where I
Check that.
saved that file, monster.
Just go pull it up again.
That requires brain power. You sent it to my email?
I believe so. Or maybe. I don't remember.
Oh, look at that. I got it. Oh, wow, that was easier than I thought it would be. Oh, my Lord. All right, so here, we'll do this.
We're coming in.
We are in
Bang.
the garden of
Well,
high times.
First thing I want to say about this, and what caught my eye about this, is the 5-gallon buckets. I fucking love it.
Hell yeah.
It's a cheap, fucking reusable pot that you will have indefinitely. And before people go on about plastics and microplastics and stuff, yeah, I get it, right? But those barrels right there, I could be mistaken. I think they're Lowe's barrels. They're actually food grade barrels. If you look at the flip over the barrel on the bottom, and I forget what the number you're looking for is, but anyway, those are food grade barrels, perfect for doing what you're doing. Amen. I like it. I like this. I like the structure of the plant. I like it a lot.
I
job.
feel like he's doing it right. I don't know why I have that feeling, but I'm just like something gives me that notion. No, yeah, no, you're right. Like this is such like again, we're talking about like this one of the starter methods of growing. Like this would be my recommendation. Truly, just go get a plastic bucket from the store, drill some holes in the bottom.
Yeah.
Easy as can be.
Yep. And whose garden is this again? Yep. The name.
High
Times.
Times' garden.
High Times Garden.
High Times. So just right away, I can tell. Well, that these have been, well, one's been topped, two have been topped. Actually, I don't know what's going on with the one on the right. That looks like it might be two separate plants. Now that I'm really looking at it, see what I mean? You got two stems coming out of the soil. We can see he is a fan of low stress training. Using what looks like those bud trainer clips. Very highly effective way of doing that. I gotta say too.
They look good. Good training.
Love using those clips if I'm gonna do that.
Cleaned up all the bullshit on the bottom so far. Looking good.
Now what are the? Is he doing like a sip thing here?
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
With these two it's kind of like a plastic thing going down into the soil. I have to imagine like he's using that to kind of bottom water.
Bottom
Right?
water, yeah, something like that. I'm not sure. So if somebody knows exactly what that system is,
You could DIY sips container.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
yeah, I get it. They're sips, Dogro. But what kind of sips? Who makes these bitches?
Yeah, I'm not sure I've seen that like product for sale on the market.
Oh,
I'm
High
just
Times
curious
is
what it
actually
would be.
watching. He's here.
Nice.
Oh
Give us some
yeah.
answers.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, tell us what brand that
buddy.
is. And there's a delay on the chat, so there's at least a 30-second delay.
Well, I see one's called Chop. One's called, I think, Ketchup Haze. Is that what I'm reading properly? And one's called Apple Burger. Great.
All of
strain
this
names.
sound fascinating.
Yes, indeed. Now let's see what else he's got picture wise. All right, we got a couple clones coming in.
Yep. Looks like he just stuck them in a cup of water, which does work.
Yep. That's how I'm going to do mine coming up. That exact thing. Doesn't need to be any more or less complicated than that. Truly.
Nope. Nope.
It looks like you got a nice pair of runner shorts on or something like a nice
Caps admiring your thigh.
hexagon pattern on your shorts there. I kind of dig that. Cool. Yeah, what we got? Third picture. All right, here we got like a close up of a pom bud.
Grow buckets.
Is that what that is?
Is that the DIY SIP program thing? I guess it's not DIY if it's made by somebody.
You're gonna have to look into that grow bucket.
Grow buckets. Yeah.
like
Grow
it.
buckets. Interesting. Looks like he's got either
Lots of babies.
starts. I think some of these are clones. It looks like, and some of these are baby plants from seed. The three more symmetrical ones, right? Like you can tell
those
when a
look like
plant's
they're from
seed.
Yep.
Right?
The rest of them look like clones. Could be
100%.
wrong,
That's what I'm seeing too. Just because the leaves have been cut, they're just a little more like they're just not symmetrical. They don't have that look. Plant from seed's always going to grow in a certain pattern, just have more symmetry to it. But cool. He's looks like we were talking about aerated soil. Just look at the top of this man's soil. Like I can see a lot of like perlite, a lot of like non-compost looking material. It's important, guys. It is. You have to have that stuff. And his plants look healthy. That's good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. His first 3 must be a few weeks or days later.
Yeah. Again,
Coming in.
I like the training. I like the defoliation at the bottom. Looks good. Looks like it's
For
got
sure.
a lot of airflow up in that tent too, which I like to see.
Mm-hmm. That oscillation.
Yeah, lots of fans.
And I like the 4 bamboo poles around the corners of your pot. Like, if you're not going to do a scrog, I feel like that's your best bet for giving your plant some support.
Yep, you're gonna need something. Those will certainly do.
Mm-hmm. You'll be able to tie each branch to one of the stakes. You might even be able to use those stakes to put a net on them if need be. But I would just use twisty tie. I'm sure that's what he's thinking. Let's see what we got next. We've got Outcast. He's got a G3 sticker.
Yeah,
Outcast
he does.
Genetics.
I don't even have a G3
The
sticker.
Grateful Gardener.
Well, I could fix that.
Growing the Mitten.
Yeah, those look rad. Definitely. Need
Yeah,
a
we
G3
gotta
sticker.
do a
I
little
got the cap
sticker share.
hologram. I know, and I got some. I got to send you guys.
I gotta order
Raspberry.
more.
Oh, there,
now that I'm thinking about it.
there's a close up of that watering system. He says it's just a grow bucket on Amazon 3-piece kit. How much were they? If you could chime
Interesting.
in. Yeah. Pretty
Interesting.
fucking cool.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like the look of that. It just provides. It's like a portal to the bottom of your soil.
Portal to the bottom of the soil. I love it.
And that's where you ideally, it's where you want to deliver a lot of the moisture you're working with.
Mm-hmm.
Avoids a lot of issues, fungus gnats and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I like the look of that. It's cool. He says it's like $50.
Yeah. Looks like he's got 3 plants in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Looks like I see
That's going to be cozy real soon.
That looks like cocoa.
Uh-huh. Does it? I was thinking peat, but I could be wrong.
Could just be the coloring.
I could be wrong. What do we got next? Where are we? Okay, we saw that. Right. Oh, we saw that. Ooh. Very frosty. very green. I wonder if there's like a filter or just like you know, it's probably just the phone he's taking the picture with. Can't process the image itself. But yeah, this looks super green.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of green in the background there. I think it's some oversaturation or something. Um, I see a little bit of leaf curling there.
Yeah,
Um,
I was, I have to point it out when I see it. Like maybe a little nitrogen toxicity. Is that
Good
why
touch.
everything's so green?
Yeah, I still think that the color you're seeing isn't. I think it.
Yeah, that
I
can't be. That can't be. I know that maybe a filter or something, but no, I don't. But like that curl, that leaf curl, you see it, right? That
yeah, that
tacoing.
that doesn't
Hmm.
really look like nitrogen to me. That looks more like heat,
Okay.
or possibly genetics. Sometimes they grow a little spindly. Sometimes, you know what? Now that I'm looking at it, I think it could be a little too much nitrogen too, because you kind of see that like weird, spindly little bit of growth. But we don't want to rip you apart, High Times. Everything's
No, no,
looking
no.
great.
I didn't mean that in a like. Listen, this is the most mild case of nitrogen toxicity if I've ever seen it in my life. Like,
Yeah,
just trying to point it out for a learning experience to
I
tie it
think a
in
little
to the
a little bit of
conversation.
light toxicity slash heat could be an issue as well.
Overall, though, looks fantastic. You've got yourself some frosty nugs there.
Yeah, and it's just beginning. Looks
I
like it's got
bet
a
you
long way to go.
they smell great too. But yeah, no senescence here. There's no delusions of senescence whatsoever with this plant. She is very green.
It's a NASA.
It's nice. Here we got. I think this is the one we were looking at the close up of.
I like that.
Yeah, super healthy. Super healthy. There we got some young'uns. Again, I really like the look of your medium. What is?
He says it's a
can you chime in?
50-50
Yeah.
pro mix perlite.
Oh, cool.
50-50.
Cool.
Hmm.
That is so like yeah, that is a very highly aerated mix,
Yeah, I like it.
which I think is serving you well, my friend.
Hmm. We
Yeah, all
approve.
those plants look great.
Ooh.
Usually you'll hear about people adding like 30% aeration to their soil mix, but I think like yeah, for my purposes, I tend to err on like overdoing that, more towards 40-50% for sure.
Autopot recommends 50%. And I generally go with a 70-30 mix. Um, but hey, a little bit more can't hurt. What do you feed these bitches?
Yeah. Might just be all organic, dude.
Might be looking
But
good.
maybe
Whatever
not.
he's feeding them.
They do look great. They're praying. They have a
Ah, he's
nice.
using Mass Metal's halide too.
Oh,
Oh,
Nice.
all
is that what
right.
you? I
That's
was
why. That's
wondering.
why
I
the
thought I
color.
That's
saw a
the
hood up
color is
there.
like that.
So
Yep.
there is a setting on your phone. I think it's the
Oh, that's
ISO
why it's
setting.
so
I
yellow.
could be wrong. You can actually. So what you can do is you can change the spectrum. You want to match it to whatever your light is, and that way there you'll get a more realistic picture. But
That's interesting, man.
yeah,
Very
yeah,
interesting.
yeah. I think I actually want to talk about those real quick. He's heavily pushing the metal halides, and listen, I think it's a can be a good thing, and especially in the winter time, right? We're struggling to add heat to our grows in some cases, right? It could be something to look into for certain people. I don't think they're for everybody, and I wouldn't recommend you go switching everything to metal halide, but can be a viable option. Definitely something that's not out of the realm of possibilities. Especially these days, I see people pushing fucking 700-watt
No, I think
LEDs.
it's super interesting, man. I
Mhm.
like everything. Now, I'm curious to know your thoughts on them high times after, if you've harvested any plants under them yet, if you've noticed any differences in expressions, terp profiles, all that stuff, you know.
Grow
But
dots he's
yeah,
using.
very cool. Nice.
Those have always intrigued me. I'm not gonna lie. I like the idea of adding it into the medium. I've always wondered
Dude,
about how
super
much you're
easy.
adding. Like, is it too much? Is it not enough? I've always kind of wondered. I guess I would have to play around and find out. And what's how cost effective is it as well? It seems like it would be cost effective, but I've never really even truly looked into it.
Mm-hmm. It's a very, very hands off. Like this is a great method. You know, this is might be a method I would direct a noob to trying. You know, this is like super hands off, a lot less work than you're, you know, picking up the pots and watering them that way, sort of thing. But then again, it's like, when do you determine when to water this pot? You know, would you just do the same thing?
So how do
Pick
these
it up.
things work? Can somebody explain it to me? I'm ignorant. I have
It's an
no
auto
idea.
pot not hooked up to a res.
Okay.
So you basically, I have to imagine he has like a layer of perlite at the bottom of the pot. Maybe that's like 3 inches, and that provides a layer of air, so it doesn't like. So you're never gonna drown the roots. They always are gonna have that. The soil's gonna have a high ability to drain, and the roots are
Hmm.
gonna be able to breathe. At least that's how I think about it.
Makes sense.
But and then I imagine that tube goes down to like the bottom of that soil layer, not quite like where, or maybe into just the middle of the layer of the soil. Like maybe it doesn't go all the way down, but halfway down, and it just like you put that moisture a little bit deeper than that top layer. And I think in most cases, like, yeah, that's gonna solve a lot of problems for people with fungus gnats, that type of
Yeah,
thing.
kind of like an earth box, but not.
Yeah,
Pretty cool. Yeah,
yeah.
and
Yeah, like a
grow
mini earth
dots.
box.
I'm more intrigued by the grow dots. Honestly, it's always something when I heard the idea of it when Scotty first started talking about it, and if people don't know, it's a product from Real Growers Recharge, same company that makes Recharge. Seems pretty intriguing, and look, he's killing it with it. Looking good.
It's just like super easy way to do it, man. Like, you know,
Yeah.
it's an all-in-one, and it's like a slow release, a time release kind of thing, and
Ah, okay.
I love it. He's having a
So
lot of success with it.
somebody chimed in here. So I guess and once you get in the flower, your plant drinking a lot of water, is feeding them every day until the end of flower. So there's a black container that goes at the bottom. It gives you about a gallon of water.
Okay. So there is like a built-in reservoir to the
Yeah,
thing, and you have
it's a
to like
float valve.
you
Yeah, that
put
makes
that
sense.
in
Right
before
there,
you
it
fill
shows
it
you.
with soil,
Yeah,
right?
that's
And it's like
pretty
it's
cool.
this little thing at the that is neat.
Pretty fucking cool.
Very neat. Yeah, what do they think of next?
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, let's see what else he's got. Uh, Another nice plant, that ketchup haze doing its thing. Very nice internodal spacing, sir. Is this the one under the metal halide or
I
not?
think his whole grows under metal halide.
Okay,
Could be
cool.
mistaken.
This one definitely, you can tell. Like I thought
Yeah.
I saw
Plus, you
the
could see
hood
the
up
fixture up
there.
there.
I
Yeah.
was looking at it like, that's a weird looking LED.
These fucking plants look happy and healthy, man.
Oh
Look at
yeah,
them.
they do. Yeah, they do. Praying up to that light.
Yep.
Maybe there's something to it.
Hey, not gonna lie, tell you that I haven't been thinking about it in some
Yeah,
aspects, especially in the winter. I think it's a fucking
dude. I would love to have a nice warm light up there right now in that 60-degree attic.
yeah.
I'm sure your
Cheap,
plants would like it too.
cheap
They
too. I
would.
mean, look, a 700-watt fixture can't be that much, and I think his bulbs are very reasonably priced. I'm not sure. I haven't really quite dove into it. I know Mass Hydro has them.
Wow, yeah. Look at that. Now that's praying for
praying.
days right there. Praying for days. That's at
Mhm.
like a Pentecostal revival church kind of praying. She's like,
Hallelujah,
yeah,
hallelujah.
she's speaking in tongues and rolling around on the floor, handling snakes and such.
Snakes.
Yeah, so to give you an idea, the 1,000 watt bulb is only $79.99 just for the bulb, and you can get fixtures pretty fucking cheap. He has a 600 watt here for $70.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so metal
That's not
halide
bad at
fixtures.
all.
That's the bulb though. You're gonna need a fixture.
Okay.
Let's see. Not sure. It's been a long time since I've priced these fucking things. Doesn't look like Mass has them there. I mean, look, fucking. Let's see here. Yeah, I see one on Amazon right here for like $185, $200. So
Huh.
looks like you could get into the
Yeah,
game for
cheap.
a little less than $300, right? And give it a
Not bad.
shot if you really
How
wanted to.
big a space could you light with that?
A 700 watt, you could easily do a
Yeah,
4x4.
it's cheaper than, well, maybe not. About the same as like a cheap LED fixture. It might be worth,
Yep. Just keep in mind
especially
the
this time of year.
bulbs
Might be worth trying.
are replaceable, and you're going to want to replace them often.
Hmm.
They're never as good as their first grow. You can usually get by a couple, and then you're going to want to replace them.
Word. Well,
That's good to know.
high
That's the 400.
times.
He's killing it with the 400. Look at
Yeah,
that.
whatever you're doing it. You got a nice combination of lots
Yeah.
of cool things going on in your garden.
I
Love
want
it.
to address one thing real quick. That's old school way of thinking. They work perfectly fine for flower. I know the thought is that you'd want to use HPS for flowering, and you could still do that, but people are pushing metal halides, basically using them as full spectrum lights and killing it right now. I know quite a few people.
Word. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of talk about Spectrum these days. Spectrum. It's like the new frontier in LED sales game. You know, got all sorts of LED companies telling you your Spectrum insufficient.
Yeah, I
You have
still
Spectrum inefficient, or
Deficient.
what would it
Spectrum
call it? We'd call
deficient.
it or
I think we've
Spectrum
hit a
dysfunction.
I think we've hit a wall right now with LED innovation. I see a lot of bells and whistles, none of them that I'm really completely sold on yet that are game changers. There's one that's quite intriguing to me, to be honest with you, that UV whatever light that Grandmaster fucking level there has, the GML lights. It's got some sort of like a bug light or whatever
The
that kills bugs.
yeah, like the
That seems a little intriguing to
tarantula
me.
or
Yeah, it seems.
something like.
I'm not 100% sure.
Hey, from just the tests that I've seen look pretty convincing that like they might not wipe out an infestation of aphids or mites, but like they come pretty fucking close to doing it on their own.
Yeah, it seems pretty
And
cool.
that's pretty promising just as far as like, lighting technology.
I think that it would be they'd probably be way more beneficial as like a preventative, right? That makes sense.
Yeah, but he was doing it for like, he was infesting his plants deliberately and then testing them that way. And he was like, yeah, I mean, it doesn't like get rid of a bad infestation, but it might get rid of 90% of them. If you can start there and do the rest, like whatever methods you have.
Hmm.
Or, yeah, like you said, start with those lights and you'll never get an infestation, right? You
Sounds
won't
pretty
allow
cool.
it to get bad.
Sounds
And
pretty
Mhm.
it's
cool.
just 15 minutes a day of UVB. That's all
Now,
he's
is it
using.
it's UVB in a LED form?
Yes.
Interesting.
And it's yeah, I mean that as far as I know, I guess he has chips built in. I think that this is fully adjustable light too, so it's like all sorts of spectrums are programmable in that. But yeah, you blast them 15 minutes a day with that UVB, and they never take root. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely sounds pretty cool. I think if you're gonna buy new lights these days, you definitely want to look towards bar fixtures. If you want to go really cheap, quantum boards still work, and I still rock a bunch of them. But I think the heat dissipation that you get with these bar fixtures is incredible. I see people are able to push them really close to the plants without getting any type of heat problem, and you get better disbursement too, right? You get better um, lighting in more areas of the tent because they're usually wider fixtures, right? Like these bar fixtures, usually a lot bigger than your standard quantum board style. So I like the spread that they give.
A lot of cool options on lighting market these days.
Certainly is.
There are. Well, thank you, High Times, for letting us barge right into your garden and look at your plants.
Choice. Yeah, no fucking choice. Let's be real.
They are beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you very much for being a supporter of the show. We appreciate it enormously. And if anyone out there would like to become a supporter, you can do that on our Patreon. If you go to our patreon.com, you can search for us on there. Not only will you be subject to random garden raids, but you'll also receive one-of-a-kind beans from time to time from trusted breeders, and exclusive content. Patreon party episodes. Those are fun.
They are fun.
So, yeah, guys, if you love the show, you could do worse giving your money to us. I promise you. Promise. But what else? Do we have any
I was going to talk about Linalool, but I think we're out of time, so we can do that next week.
Shit, I'm sorry, G3.
No worries. We were talking about other important things too. So, Terp School delayed until next week.
I feel like, how has an hour and a half gone by?
I don't know.
It always flies by quick.
It flies by. But
Linalool is a great cliffhanger to leave us on.
Yep. We'll do it next week.
What
it's
a
really
cool
interesting.
terpene. When I think of linalool, I think of lavender.
Mm-hmm. You would be correct.
Cool.
Yep. We'll talk all about it next week.
Gotta wait a whole week.
Yep. Come back next week.
I'll be here. All right, cool. I'll definitely be here. I hope all the listeners out there are here too. That's what I'm saying. But guys, we also are Joint and us are we're planning and posting info on the Grow Along in the Discord. So get in touch with us.
Drops the 18th. Yeah. That's 3 days from now.
It is.
So
it's coming up.
Get your
quickly.
Shit together.
It's on payday too for most people. So you got no excuse whatsoever. Survive on ramen for a week. You'll be fine.
I think it's at 4:20 in the afternoon. So
I was gonna ask.
Keep that in mind.
Pacific
4:20
Eastern, Pacific.
Eastern.
Maybe.
We don't.
I can find out. It's on the Discord.
TBD. But we're in the process of setting all that up, guys. But like we said, this is all gonna happen pretty quickly after the drop. So get in on it, please.
Yeah.
Please.
Here's a link to Joint site.
Grow Along. And
yeah, I don't know which 420 it is. We'll have it listed in the Discord.
At worst, you'll have to check
it
right 3 times. Just like if you want to hit it right on the dot.
Set some alarms.
It wasn't Eastern time. Shit, definitely not Central time. It's either Eastern or Pacific.
I want to say it was Eastern, but I could be wrong. We'll have to
I'm
clarify that.
checking real quick
Yeah.
on
It's all
his.
good. I think everyone should just post times in Eastern Standard Time for my convenience more than anything
Seriously.
else. But, you know, it's also like everything should just be like in the customary system too, and not metric either.
Yeah, I think he says there's 50 packs of each line.
Cool.
Those not gonna fucking last.
Those will not
No, I
last.
want honestly, like, yeah, it's some of them are gonna go quick. So if you have your eye on a certain one or two, yeah, I recommend getting there quick for sure.
Darn, I definitely
Small
thought I read it
batch, my
somewhere, but I can't
friends.
find it.
Small batch.
All right, this girl long's gonna be so fun. Oh my god, I
I
can't
know. I can't wait.
Hold on, we're gonna do this live. We'll fucking do it live.
Fuck it, we're doing it live. Oh,
I know.
We're calling.
He was in the
on
chat
phone.
earlier. I saw him, but I'm sure he had.
He was, yeah, he was. He's got a life though, you know.
Yeah, that's all right. He'll answer. I bet he'll answer.
He can't hang out. He can't hang out for a whole hour and a half. He's got kids and stuff.
Oh, looks like he's busy.
Like,
all
aren't
right.
you guys doing a show right now?
The call has been forwarded to
Yeah,
voicemail.
you're
The person you're
live,
trying to
dude.
reach.
All right, we'll figure it out.
He's gonna laugh when he sees this.
He sure will. But yeah, now we're just wasting time, guys. I love you.
Yep.
Love you both. I love you all in the chat. I love every listener. And until next time, you know the rules. Don't get caught.